Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Bug and I'm coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2. And in this video I was going to do the next Mercedes in line for that 3-pack I did where I did the Mercedes 1632. And that would be the the Mercedes Actros MP1 Megaspace W1840. However, lately I've heard a lot of people talking smack about the Renaults. Renaults are terrible trucks, they're horrible trucks. No, not really. And I know what you're saying, especially if you've seen the video, but Bugga, hey, we saw your high-end truck videos and you rated the Renaults the worst. Well, this is true, as a high-end truck. That still doesn't make them a terrible truck. Being last in a group of very good trucks is still very good. It's kind of like being in the Olympics and coming last place in a race. Okay, you place last in the Olympics, but you beat everybody else in your country to get there. You know, it really doesn't mean it's terrible. It just means that you're last in a really good group. And that's what all these Euro trucks are, really good trucks. But I also said that Renaults can be a little iffy in an unmodded game. So in other words, if you're going to like mod in heavy trailers and then you're not going to mod in anything else, well then the Renault is probably going to suffer. However, in this video and in my next video, I decided to finally show you my two Renaults. My White Knight and my Black Knight, which is exactly what I named them. The White Knight is my Renault Premium. The Black Knight is my Renault Magnum. And I'm going to show you just what a Renault can become with the proper mods. And believe me, finding mods for a Renault, not easy. Now, there have been a couple changes to my company. As you'll notice, I've only got 20 trucks. Yeah, I got 4,400,000 plus euros. I sold all my bonus trucks. I fired all my drivers. I fired every single driver because the reality is I'm making too much money. I'm thinking of putting in a hardcore mod, which is a difficult economy, just to slow down the amount of money I make. Not buying any more trucks for now. Rehiring drivers after I put in the economy, just to slow down how much freaking money I'm making. I mean, I drive from one garage to the other. I make €1,000,000. It's nuts. I'm afraid the game's going to crash because I'm going to make so much money that I feel this need to keep spending it. The only way I can spend it is to buy garages and then buy trucks to fill the garages. So I'm kind of restarting. As a matter of fact, it kind of made me wonder if I should do one using the hard mode, using all my mods plus the hard mode, and then seeing how it goes from there. But I don't know, the game's kind of late, and I don't know if anyone would be interested in that. That's something I gotta, like, pose to Truck Sim. But anyways, here they are, Renault Premium and the Renault Magnum. As you can see, they both have 700 horsepower engines, far stronger than any other engine the Renault can have. As you can remember, the Renault's top engine was 480 horsepower. So I modded in a significantly stronger engine, but not stupidly strong. He says as he has a 978 horsepower and a 910 horsepower engine, bracketing the two. But I've always said 1,000 horsepower is the strongest engine I'll ever go. And it's the strongest engine I personally have modded into the game. And anything over 1,000, which there are a couple trucks I could do it, because they come with bigger mods, I won't do over. I'll do like 1,020 or 1,035, but that's it, you know. So enough with that. Let's take a look at my baby right here. Now, the only thing about the Renault Premium I can't find, I just cannot, for the life of me, find a 6x4 chassis. I can only find a 6. I love them. My trucks are still on the road with no drivers. I just fired everybody in the middle of their drive. But yeah, a 4x2 chassis is the best I can do for Renault Premium. The Renault Magnum's different, but you'll see that later. So premium 4x2, componable high roof, whatever the hell that means. Left-handed driver, 700 horsepower engine at 515 kilowatts, 3,350 newton meters at 1,100 RPM. Of course, we've got an OptiDrive R transmission with a 600, 400 liter fuel tank. Let's hop into this bad boy, shall we? And let's just take a look at it in the background here. Take a look at that. That is my white knight. Yeah, that's my baby right there. It's one of two. Now, all my trucks I have are my babies. But I've always had a secret love for the Renaults, yeah? And this is no different. And the things you can do with mods. I do have like different a lot of the mods I have don't have a lot of add-ons for things like this. Like one of the mods I have gives me custom visors, custom fronts, custom this, custom that. But very, very little for the Renaults. So this is, the basic bull bar, the basic bar down the bottom here. There's a few touches here and there, like the tinted glass and whatnot, to really help make it stand out. But otherwise, it's not a whole lot of modding, but you can still see what you can do with it. You can see my LED brake lights, brake, reverse, and blinkers on the back. I hope those work. I honestly don't know if they do, but enough talking. I want to start somewhere different. Now, I can safely free travel wherever the hell I want and not have to make a ton of money to do it. I've done a lot of driving down in that area, so I really don't want to go down there. Could go to Denmark. Why don't we start here? We'll start all the way over in Slovakia, Hungary, in that area. And we'll find a trailer to haul from there. I have so many trailers I haven't hauled. Whew, sorry, I need a drink. Alright. Brake on, because for whatever reason. How the hell did I just make... Oh, deliveries are actually finishing still. I don't have the drivers, but they are finishing their deliveries. Alright, that's fine. Freight market. And Slovakia. We could do a Panzer. We could do the segments, which is a nice big trailer, but lighter weight. The Kessel wagon. Engines. Honestly, I think we're like between these two, or actually these three. And the Panzer, I've already been there, haven't I? No, honestly, I haven't been to that area of Albania. This goes somewhere I've already been. And this... I think we're going to go with the 35-ton Kessel wagon, if I'm going to be honest. That's a nice trip. But, again, trying to keep it within 2 episodes. That would be at least 3, if not 4 episodes. So I think we're going to haul the 35-ton Kessel wagon, which is a shame because I haven't hauled either of these trailers yet. But anyways, let's take a quick look, as I accidentally hit a directional. Stop that. Stop that. Let us take a quick look at our truck in-game. F3. There we go. Take a look here. Let's start her up. Oops, that's the wipers. Let's turn the lights on. Yeah, how about that? Huh? Check that out. LEDs over the plates. LEDs along the bar. LEDs along the side. Ah, it does light up. I don't see my brake coming on, but, well. Can't ask, well, I can't ask for perfection. That doesn't mean I'll get it. Look how pretty that is. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I did it wrong. F4. I didn't realize that all the lights weren't on. That's strange. That the center lights aren't lighting up top. They should be. Those 4 lights in the middle should be lighting up. So why they're not, I'm not sure. But it's okay. So anyways, let's hop back into our truck. And unfortunately for this one, we will need our floating GPS. It's like I've forgotten how to reverse. I haven't played in a little while, so... Oh yes, if you look under our truck, yeah, it's lit up under the truck as well. We have fluorescence lighting up under the truck. I have no air horns on the truck. I have nothing along the top of the truck. I kept the top of the truck clean. I just like the clean look at the top of this truck. Oh, there's my brakes. Now they're working. Nice. Alright, that's actually really cool. Because that's modded, obviously. Be first. When I'm running bobtail, you think I'm reckless normally? When I'm running bobtail, oh dear God. I also have a new physics mod in the game. Guy created a physics mod because he didn't like the other physics mod, and I can't knock his arguments. Even I was starting like, I may run without my physics mod because I'm getting tired of it feeling like really floaty. But this guy put in a new, made a new physics mod, and it actually looks, it actually feels really nice. The truck doesn't bounce nearly as much, although there is some bounce. Alright, neutral, brake on. Let's take a look at our hooked up, shall we? Get rid of that. Stop turning, mouse. Stop turning. And that looks pretty. That looks so pretty. Just zoom in a little bit. Catch the lights on the side. The front, even though it's real dark, it's a little over glowy, unfortunately, the LEDs, and that may be because I have the windows dark. I may take the tint out of the windows or just lower it way down. I don't know if that has something to do with it or not. But it says, there you go, white night. This is my white night. So I may end up dropping the tint, see if that fixes that. If not, then I'll just drop the LEDs off the front and just leave them as white signs. I'll do that at a garage somewhere. Matter of fact, I may just like pop into this garage and try and fix it real quick. Am I mistaken, or does this truck sound different? I think this truck sounds different. let's do a quick quick fix on the, that's the mirror, front glass. Let's take it down to 25% and put the lights on. That doesn't reflect nearly as much in here. So let's try that outside. So I want my side mirrors to match, or my side mirrors, or do I just want to keep those dark? Let's just see how it looks outside now. Zoom in, lights on. Yeah, that's still pretty shiny. So I am going to change the, oops, I'm going to change to just white signs. Not everything's perfect, really. Some of the shine's a little too much in places. But I'm pretty sure it's a work in progress. So we'll just change this to white plates. Blue, 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 fuchsia, green, orange, pink, red, white. White telepass. Oh no, it's just white plate. It doesn't say white telepass. It's just a white plate. Well, I'm fine with that. I would like the telepass and all that, but it's just too shiny. There was just too much shine on it. And you know what? While I'm here, it doesn't match as well, though. I think we'll just go with that one because it's not lighting up properly. I don't know if I want a bar on top. Actually, that looks really cool right there. I know, just bear with me a second. So if we put a roar on each side, that will actually give me air horns. And then the white square to match the rest. Like this. 3, 4. That works. Yeah, that works. I always hit escape rather than F4 to turn the front and the other lights on. Alright, lights. Yeah, that works. I like the idea of lighting up the signs, but well, what can you do? I'm going to see if I can just, like, very slow and kind of like, I call them, you know, they're just simple U-turns, but I like to call them jackknife U-turns because of how tight you turn the corner. What's up, dude? You're, like, virtually jackknifing the truck. Or at least putting it in a jackknife shape. Yes, yes, there's new trucks. I have new trucks. Couple new trucks, a Peterbilt 387, which I don't think registers with the traffic, and what you just saw go by there, it's actually an old mod, but I think either somebody updated it or it just still works. It's a Scania Stax. It looks really cool, although I kind of feel like it's a little cartoonish compared to other trucks. So this video may end up a little bit longer, just because I stopped and changed my settings around a little bit, but not too much longer. That didn't take too long. Oh, these lights. These lights. So let's again pop out real quick and just take a look at our truck all hooked up here. I wish you could read the words a little bit better at this distance. I want to take a screenshot, but I'm not going to. Not yet. no sense in shifting gears because we're just going to be turning here. I think I got to turn my brakes down because you have a brakes slider, yeah? And you can actually turn the brake intensity down. I honestly feel like my brake intensity set way too high. It's more car-like than it is truck-like. So, that's a question I can pose as well. Maybe if somebody sees this, wants to leave a comment, and tell me, what do you think feels like a good brake setting to make it feel a little more truck and a little less car? You know, that would be interesting because I've never fooled with the brake setting. You know, I never bothered with it. I really can't wait to see Black Knight, though. As cool as White Knight here looks, Black Knight... Whoa! That's right! Wow. Yeah, that's right. 4x2. 4x2, Big J. 4x2. Still, we almost made it around that corner. I'm surprised I didn't notice the tip. I'm really surprised. I've driven so many, like, multi-axle chassis and trucks that couldn't get up to that speed with what they were hauling, like the 1632 and whatnot, that it almost cost me. Yeah, there's a little hard roll in the truck, but not too much. Besides, the mod that I'm using to like get those LEDs and whatnot is called Megastore. There hasn't been an update to the really good parts mod. Not that this one's bad, okay, but am I just not paying attention? Yeah, that would be the case. Yeah, but not that there's not a good okay, reset. Not that the Megastore is not a good mod, but there was a mod out there that was really good. I mean, somebody sunk a lot of time into it, adding all kinds of insane stuff to the game, and they never kept it up to date. It was like released and then that was it. This guy working on Megastore, he's like putting out a newer version every few days to a week or so. At least he was. I kid you not when I say that there was it's like you could see version 1.7.7, and then that's followed up like not even 3 days later by version 1.8 with a list of things that he fixed, you know. However, I'm still finding issues. And it could be that I'm using 3 tuning mods, which I really wish I could do without 2 of them, but I tried, and I actually lose some key parts on other trucks. So that's depressing. Actually, what I really lose is some really cool skins on my Scanias that... Eep! And, I lose some really cool skins on my Scanias. That's going to be close, but no, we're going to make it. And I at least want to show you them before I lose them. I really do. I want to show you those skins before I lose them. But I'll show you when I drive one of my Scanias. They're both the same. Pretty much both exactly the same, except with different skins. I really do love the sound and the look of the Renaults. The interior, the Renault probably has one of the best looking interiors with the brown and tan. It's default color. I can't find, well, there are a few alternate interiors for Renaults, but I'm not happy with any of them. I think they look ugly, if I'm just to be honest with you. I think that most of the interior mods for Renaults look butt ugly. It's like red and blue, you know, it's all solid color. And it just looks insane, you know. It looks, if I'm to be honest, stupid. A lot of construction in this area. Oh my. Well, fortunately it's wider than I thought, so we should clear okay. We should clear okay. Yeah, we'll be fine. Yeah, but I think the interiors look ugly. Something I'll be putting out on my channel, and I don't know what I'll be putting it over. I might just do a voiceover with something in the background, just like a picture or something. And I'll extend the picture out for the duration, because it's only going to be a minute or two. But anyone who follows me and is like watching this may be enjoying Euro Truck. And might lose me some subscribers, because I've had people subscribe to me for League. I am done with League. I know that I was like done with League before, and then I ended up getting back into it. I'm done with League. I know that they're making big changes, and you know, maybe it would have been a good thing, but for a lot of reasons I'm done with it. I mean, first of all, the amount of money that I'm sinking into League is just insane. You know, it's really just insane. I left World of Warcraft because I didn't want to pay $15 a month for a subscription to a game that I thought wasn't putting out that, you know, really varied content anymore, only to get into a game that I'm probably sinking $50, $60, $70 a month into. Alright, gotta be careful. I saw that hard tip, so I want to make sure I make the around the corner okay. We're good. And also the rage of other people and the rage of myself. I'm becoming more and more bitter in the game, and I just can't take it anymore. I don't enjoy the emotions and the feelings I get, even when winning, because somebody's doing bad. You know, even when you're winning and somebody's doing bad, somebody else, is that like a tear in the sky or something up there? Not gonna worry about it. But yeah, you know, and somebody's doing bad. Even when you're winning, people hop all over that bad person's gameplay. It's like, who cares? You're winning. It doesn't matter. And if you're losing, oh, God forbid. And I'm guilty of it too sometimes. Most of the time it comes after I lose a couple games because of whatever reason. Yeah, I gotta watch my speed. Hello, Stacks. Alright, getting into some hard corners here. Must be careful. Oh, too low. That gets tight right there. Gently, and we're good. But yes, you know, especially if somebody's doing bad. I've seen some people really get devastated by some really mean people in the game. And, you know, and I've been vicious as well. And even if I'm being vicious, somebody else is being vicious, that's still not right. That's still not something you should do. You know? So there's that, and you know, that rage is starting to come out in ARAM a lot, which is supposed to be the less serious version of the game. you know, and it's really like not anymore. A lot of people still bitch, complain, moan, get angry, grumble, and all that stuff, and it's really not right. It's really not. So, you know, out of all that, you see that glow underneath right there? You see it underneath the middle of the truck? Yeah, that's my LEDs. It looks like my lights aren't on my side, but they are. I'm going to get a screenshot right here because that's nice. And oh no, strange. I have air horns on this truck, but they're not working unless my air horn key has changed, which is possible. Maybe Renault premiums don't have air horns. Alright, so I got to be a little extra cautious here because we are getting into country roads, which means more turns and more potential to flip, as we've already been through one flip. We don't want to be through another anytime soon. As you can see, we got some really tight corners coming up. Tight in terms of what we're hauling versus what we're hauling it with. You know, 4x2 chassis on any truck is not very stable when hauling heavy or oversized loads. And so that's something you got to really be careful about, oversized heavy loads. And that's what brings the Renault down in terms of being unmodded. You don't have those options, you know. You don't have the option of a better chassis. You're stuck with a 4x2, at least in the premium's case. I mean, I even looked for a modded chassis for the premium, and I couldn't find one. You know, I guess the premium stays as is. But once you get used to driving it, dealing with heavy trailers in a 4x2 chassis is not that bad. You just got to take it slower on the corners. And even then, it's not a huge difference. What really brought the Renaults down was their engine. 480 horsepower maximum with a 12-speed transmission. Yeah, that doesn't go over too well, you know. So that's easy to fix in terms of a mod. Now, that's really easy to fix in terms of a mod. See, I've got two 700 horsepower Renaults in there. Our next Renault will have the same horsepower, even if she's a little bit bigger. And in my opinion, looks a little better. I'm sorry, I know I've been sniffing on the microphone, which is something I usually try to avoid doing, and I apologize for that. It's just I haven't wanted to stop my talking momentum yet, but now's a good time as any. So hopefully that takes care of it. We might have some pretty tough corners coming up, it looks like, so that's something to keep in mind as we continue our journey here. Oh, we're going to be getting back on the highway. Okay. Oh, I was enjoying the country road drive. That's a real shame. Don't want to go too fast. Oh no, we actually got on the highway and then we may be getting off a highway back onto a country road. That would be awesome. That's exactly what happened. Our road expanded into a highway. We went back onto a country road. Nice. I actually enjoy the country road driving. And it looks like we can use our high beams for now. For all of a few seconds. We're going slow enough, I think. Yeah. So we shouldn't tip on this corner. Pretty sharp corner at that. Oh, there's some rest stops really close together here, aren't there? Maybe because one's on one side of the road and one's on the other side of the road. That's what I'm thinking. You know, that's one thing that's gotten me as well, is like rest stops, you know. Oh, there's another one right up this road here. You know, a trucker can pretty much pull over and rest anywhere he wants as long as it's out of the way. You know, into a parking lot, you know, big store, somewhere you can easily maneuver his trailer around. You know, I don't see why, like, I couldn't pull up on the side of a road somewhere and take a quick nap. Because I'll be honest with you, I rode with a trucker. Nothing major. I worked for a store, and the store was moving, and the company sent a truck. And the trucker needed directions. Well, I still had dreams and aspirations of becoming a truck driver. So I figured this would be the perfect time to get in there and ask this guy about truck driving and training and all these big important things. You know, I found this was my opportunity. So I immediately volunteered to go, and nobody else wanted to. So of course I got chosen. And you know, I was talking to him, and all of a sudden he takes the truck, and mind you, we're in a big rig right now, you know, and he takes the truck and he pulls off the side of the highway, and it wasn't a rest area, it was just this kind of like bigger area where the truck would be more out of the way. Yeah. And he shuts the truck down. He asks me, well, how far do you think it is, and this and that, and you know, how far do you think we have to go? And I was like, well, why? He says, well, I have to show some resting time, you know, I have to, you know, so I'm going to take a quick break here, you know, I have to show some downtime, but I need to put in accurate, you know, driving distances and whatnot. So I told him, oh, well, you know, and I gave him the information, and he went, put it into his logbook, you know, drew the lines, and then he just shut down the truck, you know, and it was a nice breezy day, so we opened the windows, and he said, you know, and he did have a sleeper. Traffic. He did have a big sleeper, so he like hauled back into the sleeper, and he said, you know, feel free to, you know, kick back in the chair. If I want to, I could kick my feet over. I could sit in the driver's chair and kick my feet over to the passenger chair and put my feet up that way and lean against the door and catch a nap, but I didn't want to do that. I was afraid I'd like hit a button or something and the truck would explode. No, I'm not kidding. I was pretty scared. Alright. I'm going. I know those lights just came on, but I've got time. So I'm just going. And so I just like curled up. I was much smaller at the time weight-wise. I just curled up into the passenger seat. I asked him if it was okay if I put my feet up. I forget what it was on. And he said, oh yeah, sure. So I went and put my feet up there, and we literally, took a nap for about an hour. Just napping there on the side of the road. Nobody bothered us. Nobody, no police came over, and yeah, you can't rest here and all that. And, it was really cool. So I understand it would better, and in terms of like multiple trucks and whatnot, safer. Safer to be at a rest stop. I understand that, but still, you don't need a rest stop to rest. So I've always wondered about that in here as well. Speed camera, I don't think we'll have to worry. I don't think we'll build up enough momentum. I think we'll build up enough momentum to worry about it. Yeah, there's the camera there. Not a big deal. And then end speed camera. Pretty sure. I usually like to wait till 5:30 before I turn my lights off. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, yeah, oh, the Kessel trailer looks good. And for whatever reason, my mind actually, what the hell is that up there? Is that supposed to be Bigfoot? It wasn't moving if it was. But my mind, when I said, yeah, the Kessel trailer, I don't know if anyone else thought of it. But my mind, yeah, we're doing the Kessel run. 12 parsecs. Yeah, I know. I know. You don't need to tell me. I know. Alright, we got some speed built up, and this corner sharpens a little bit at the end, so be careful of that. Matter of fact, I should probably lock it in at about 100 to 105, just because of, oops, wrong button, the 4x2. I locked it in at 105. We should be okay on these corners, as long as I don't like jerk the joystick too much. Stop giggling. I'm not using a joystick, of course. I'm using a gamepad, so it's the analog stick. One of these days I hope to have a steering wheel. They're just so expensive with like the right ones. Like, to get the G27 with gear shift, it's like 200 something bucks. Shh. That's so expensive, man. It's just so expensive. Oh, that scared me. Yeah, I was wholly expecting a crash right there. I've had so many of them. But no, we're good. We're good. She didn't crash on us. It was just loading an area. So we're getting close to needing our first rest stop. So once I hear a yawn, I'm going to have to debate... I can turn my lights off now too. I'm going to have to debate where the next good rest stop is. Matter of fact, at the rate we're going, we may just take the next rest stop and then continue from there. We should be okay on this corner. I'm still going to bring it down a little bit though. The next corner's no, I've actually got the speed to overtake, at least for now. I don't want to break too much momentum. At least not till we hit that corner, so. Which, here it is. Alright, good. We do have a bit of a lean going on, but we're still okay. And now we're on a road we haven't been on yet, which I always enjoy. I always enjoy driving on roads and heading for destinations that I haven't been to yet, you know. I should probably just move over by now. There is a rest stop upcoming, and it's very soon, actually. So I want a quick map check and see that our next rest stop isn't up until these gas stations, which that's a fair distance. And I'd say we come about halfway, maybe a little bit less. And a lot of that's due to a lot of country road driving. So I think I'm just going to take this rest stop. I think this is a smart move right here. Could have pulled in there, but I want to pull up here. Alright, brake on, engine off. One more quick peek out at our big, beautiful white knight here. That's a pretty truck. That's a real pretty truck. Alright, so that is going to be me done for this one, folks. I am going to check something real quick. Where is it? That's cameras. Next camera. Air horn. No, air horn is still in. So it just wasn't working. Maybe this doesn't come with an air horn. I don't know. But that's going to be me done for this one, folks. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Don't forget to leave a comment, rate, and subscribe if you would be ever so graceful. That would be wonderful. Join me in the next video where we continue and hopefully complete our run with our Renault Premium High Roof. And hopefully you like the look of my White Knight as much as I like the look of my White Knight. Until next time, folks, I'll see you on the road.